morning, coffee.
Not yet.
Good morning, coffee moaners. How are you all? I hope you're extremely well. I hope you're snuggled up somewhere warm with a nice big hot cup of coffee or tea, and you are ready for a bit of a chinwag with your dear friends.
That's a nice looking cup, Nads.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah. Where's that from?
My beautiful daughter.
No, very nice. Morning, everyone. How are you all? I feel a little bit despairing today of the world. It just the world. It's just the world, and it's hideous. Morning, everyone. Hope you're all. Christine Bett. Hi, Faith Goodman. Morning. What's that? Kanye has had, yes, Kanye, we're going to talk about Kanye. Don't you worry. Kanye had a very odd moment. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about Trump, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Kanye's advert, even Serena Williams. Was it Serena Williams? I think it was, yes. And we're also going to be talking about how the ick can be dangerous to men.
And we're also, I want to talk about the guy that got his Palestinian and Sudanese flag out yesterday in the middle of the Super Bowl.
How are you feeling? How was your weekend?
It's very, very sad that is now described as like such a brave act, because it was a brave act. And also, we've got at the end, I think, one of the internet's all-time funniest videos.
Yeah, but I have a gripe with it.
Okay, of course you do.
No, because I've never seen the long version, and I think it neuters how funny it is.
Well, we all know so it's quite funny the way it goes.
Yeah, I suppose it's behind the scenes, isn't it? Almost, the dog. No, that is fun.
Come on.
Okay.
He's a bit of a miserable bastard.
No, I'm not. I've just had enough.
So I just want to warn you of that. I might get him to leave the room when we watch our very funny video.
I've got a funny video. Anyway, how are you? How was your weekend? Come on, we've always said we should do a bit more of a chit chat at the front.
Between us.
Yes,
but do you know what, Mark? You know what's so awful? I can't remember a single thing about the weekend. Oh my God! Except, no, I can remember quite a few things. So Friday evening,
don't remember the bullwhip.
Friday evening, we did the first Curly Cooks cook along, right? And we had to drink before. And you know when you have your first drink at the end of a hard week?
Yes.
So I was in no way pissed, but I was a little bit high. Anyway, we started the cook along. Now, how many times, guys, have you seen me had to deal with Dina after she's had a couple of drinks on the Curly Cook? Well, honest to God, what you couldn't see, because she kept turning her back to the camera and she was going to me. What?
She was definitely going to walk.
It was so funny. I wish I'd had a camera the other way around. But then that was like huge fun. We really, really enjoyed that. And then our first DIY show went out on Sunday. And
what a pair of fucking idiots.
We are very, very, very inept at life.
You are. Mark,
you did. Did you see yourself with the tape measure?
Well, did you see where you found the tape measure?
Did you see yourself trying to understand the most basic ideas? What was his name?
Don't get us started on Craig. I have to say, I really like Craig.
I like Craig from Big Brother, who does DIY.
You were bowled over that I even knew who you were talking about.
You guessed it. You were very clever.
Having gone via Stephen Graham.
You were very clever.
No, but Craig Phillips has a special place in my heart.
So drunkenness, seeing just what idiots we are, that was sort of the highlights of memory of the weekend.
Let me explain to you guys, because Stuart G is asking when's the next DIY show. Well, I mean, it's part of our new home time vlog, actually, because we had a tricky week. As a lot of you know, Nanny Di really isn't very well, and it is casting a huge shadow over all of us, and especially me, because I'm a son.
So horrible.
And it's very debilitating for her. It's very distressing. And yet, ironically, Mum, I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying this, sometimes when someone is going through something themselves, it isn't quite as distressing for them, because they're kind of getting on. And they're sort of, you know, she doesn't see the same issues that one can see, sort of a broader issues around things. And so it's very destabilizing. It's very draining. It's leading me to a gallows sense of humor. So I have erratic moments of sheer stupidity, followed by moments of real kind of sort of deep study and sadness. But you have all sent such lovely messages over the weekend. And as a consequence, we dropped the vlog that we dropped last night was really going to be a DIY vlog, but we kind of made it one of the home times. But the thing is, what I'm getting to is there's so much content. If we do it week by week, you'll see the end result probably by December. So I'm going to drop another one this week. And I'm also going to put a vlog up.
Well, can you put the link under for this? That one that you put out last night?
Yeah, I'll pop it. Can you make a note? Can you make a note of 5 minutes 30? 5 minutes 30.
A couple of blithering idiots. Blithering.
I'll put the link.
What the hell is this?
Fuck knows.
What is this?
Something for,
it's a pen.
I thought it was for colouring in Uranus.
What am I writing? What am I writing? I'm not writing.
5:30.
Right. So what are we talking about today? We are going to be talking about Trump trolling Taylor. There is no depths he will not sink to. So are we going to start with that?
Yeah.
Off you go then.
Anyway, well, look, let's have a look. So it was the Super Bowl last night. The Philadelphia Eagles won. Was it the Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania? Philadelphia. Basically, the news is Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team lost.
No, but can you imagine that for that team and for Kendrick? No, what's his name? It's Kelsey.
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. That now it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team lost.
Yeah. And apparently he's a very serious chap in the game.
You wouldn't like that.
No. So I'm going to show you some photos of the night Donald Trump sought to make it his. On the way, on the interesting moment last night, I was following him. I followed Donald Trump on Truth Social. I love getting,
because every single thing that's posted is the truth.
It's the truth.
That's why it's called. It's posted as the truth.
And it's quite disconcerting because sometimes we were in a meeting the other day and then it looked like I'd got a text from Donald Trump. It's really quite funny. No one else I know is on Truth Social, so it's kind of strange. Anyway, he was flying to New Orleans. Obviously, New Orleans sits on the southern coast of America, the Bay of what was it called? The Bay of was it the Gulf of Mexico? No.
I see.
You know, that's the Gulf of America, isn't it?
Gulf of America.
So as he flew over the Gulf of America, he declared Gulf of America Day. And Google have observed that he wrote it in an executive order as flying in the plane. He said this pen is now famous.
Yeah, I'm surprised his ego didn't bring that plane down.
I know. It's astonishing how big that plane is. He spends most of his time in it. Anyway, so as he was flying, he said that. Anyway, here's some images from the night. There he is on the pitch, wandering around. There's Taylor, kind of keeping an eye on proceedings, looking over, whispering to her friend there. Have you seen Blake Lively? She's saying, because I haven't. There, Donald Trump, look at him there. I have to say, I thought the whole build-up to this evening was a little bit analogous to, or with, the emperors going to the Colosseum. Yeah. It's like you had a sort of divisive, because he's obviously popular, but you've got a divisive Trump who's kind of almost going to stand with his thumb like that and give it all this malarkey. But there he is, standing with his daughter. Now, I'd have paid good money to see Donald Trump's face when Samuel L. Jackson came out dressed as Uncle Sam. I just love this because, of course, Kendrick Lamar came on in the halftime, proceedings, and performed his diss track, which is the track that he did to take down Drake, accusing Drake of being a paedophile. No, basically accusing him of being a paedophile. And by all accounts, Donald Trump left early. Not too sure if it was a consequence of the halftime performance. Serena Williams, who used to date Drake, got onto stage and danced.
What, she just got up uninvited?
No, she was invited.
Oh.
No, she didn't break the barrier and rush the stage.
Oh, wow.
Rush what? And then
that's an angry
did a backhand forehand smash. No.
She was in the troupe.
She was part of the troupe.
Right.
So the diss of Drake was big.
It's a double diss.
Even his ex, it's a double diss.
So a double diss because she's dancing. So she's kind of like,
yeah,
wow, validating whatever is said.
Yeah.
Was it the diss track that was played?
Yes, he performed the end. He did his last.
Oh, it was the famous diss track.
The famous diss track where he removed the word paedophile, I think, from it, but he still ended with the note A minor. You know, that kind of.
Ooh.
Anyway, she's dancing on stage.
Was she dancing like free dancing, or was it choreographed?
She was dancing just like Joy. She was trying to forget Drake ever existed.
God, double diss.
Double diss. So wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall in Drake's pad, which was flooded apparently?
Do you think Drake would have known?
What?
Would he have been warned? Was it a total shock to everyone that she danced, or was it? PR'd?
I don't know. She might have texted him and let him know, giving him foresight. Just see you later, Drake.
God, that
Drakey
is,
boy.
you know what we should have done today? The best way to get back at your ex. That
Well,
should have been a good chat.
That is a good way to get back at your ex.
What, especially looking like $1 million, those legs, that hair.
I've just realised I haven't got an image of Kendrick Lamar, but one thing I do want to say about Kendrick Lamar, which I love, is that he wears boot-cut jeans.
Oh.
And I hope they come back into fashion because they're my
Oh.
favourite kind of jean. Boot cut.
I don't think I've ever seen him standing up.
Where have you seen him lying down? Do you need to
Well,
tell
no,
me
I just
something?
no, I don't mean that. I mean, because you know, the kids show me videos and stuff of him, and it's always like, you know, you're just in close up here.
Sorry, I was just looking at flights to Marrakesh because I was looking to just do a runner today. Actually,
Yes,
I mean, literally, I've got £47 flights on
Do you know
EasyJet.
what? I'm just too scared to fly. Man. I don't think I'll ever be able to fly again unless I can have a value.
I just want to. I'm literally going through the process. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going through the process of creating a PDF of Kendrick Lamar's boot-cut jeans.
Standing up. Well, you should have said it because you should have had that because you're saying
shut the fuck up! I should have had that. I hate you. So much stuff.
He's
that I'm
so
pulling
good.
together.
No,
It
shut
just
up,
can't be
you little
What?
fart.
Go and masturbate.
Don't give me the ick.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Oh, I can't believe what you just said. Go too far.
No, I don't. Oh, what have I just depressed? Okay. So let's just get this up because I really want to show you
Zoe,
this.
it's scary, isn't it?
What's that?
Flying.
Oh.
I don't know whether something's got into my algorithm and it just keeps showing me terrible things on planes or whether loads of terrible things are happening.
A flock of swans.
I know.
Pulled a British Airways
I don't
flight out.
like
There you
that.
go.
Oh, yes.
I'm so pleased. It's worth it,
Oh.
wasn't it? These jeans are back.
Oh, he's got nice legs for flair.
He has, hasn't he? What you see, the thing is, they're not really bell bottoms; they're just boot cut. But I love that overhang on the boot on the trainer.
They are
Cool.
boot cut, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or are they flares? Please, flares or boot cut?
No,
Flares or boot
well,
cut?
boot cut. A good boot cut are dangerously close to flares.
Can I be very, very honest now with the men of the world? Okay, be prepared for this. Get yourselves ready.
Elsa Pop says a tattoo
Because I
long.
don't want anyone to get upset. Skinny jeans look shit on you.
Please say that louder. Please say it again.
Skinny jeans
Oh, I do
look
literally mean
shit
loud.
on you. Get rid of them.
If I have to see whether a man has had his penis circumcised through his jeans,
Why did we have to get to penis?
Because
Why?
men
Why?
wear jeans that are so tight and narrow. You think,
Well,
how
sometimes
have you
you
got
can
them
see.
on? How
You
have
can.
you got? Yeah,
You
well,
can.
we're not interested.
I'm not saying what, but I'm not really thinking about that. I'm imagining skinny jeans with the top over the top. I'm talking about when it goes right down to
Let
the
me
bottom,
show you
like,
how a
it's
man
not good.
men in skinny jeans and they walk around like, I don't know if you've noticed.
Mark, we could be alienating all our audience now.
People in skinny jeans, have you noticed they sort of walk like this?
Yes, especially when they've
No. You go through Soho or Shoreditch, and guys who think they look cool, they're kind of like.
because also stop it.
Oh,
They don't like skinny jeans either.
don't say skinny.
But also it's when the trouser is too low because they've tightened themselves here and they've tightened themselves at the bottom and then they just walk like that.
Has anyone seen that shot of the French bulldog leaning up against the telly with the tight trousers on? It doesn't have tight trousers on, but it looks like it's got tight trousers on. That's what men look like.
Anyway, we're going to run out of time
Oh, fucking hell, I don't care. I want to.
because I have to remind you of this.
I know.
I know, don't say it like a spoiled child.
I know.
Right.
Okay, so Trump. So anyway, let's keep going through the images. So that took us somewhere, didn't it?
That's what I
Serena.
love. We rock and roll here.
There's Trump
Oh.
holding on to the side. Look at his daughter.
Who's that person there?
I don't know, but she's quite frightening, isn't she?
Who, does anyone know who the other person is? I feel so sorry for his daughter. I feel so
This
sorry.
was.
She should run away.
This was what's her fucking name? Taylor Swift. Sort of really kind of become quite pensive as her team. Look, there's Trump talking to people. There's Travis Kelce looking very.
So did they lose in a big way?
Yeah, quite big.
Oh.
Yeah, quite big. Yeah.
Okay, move on from that now.
Okay, and I'm trying to. There's lots of shots. But here you go. Mainstream media won't show you the best part of the Super Bowl, which is when one of the dancers bravely pulled out a flag with the names Sudan and Gaza on them. If you're listening on podcasts, he's a guy, part of the troop, dancing troopers holding it aloft. I was going to use the clip, but I thought the clip was actually undramatic. It was a bit fumbly.
No, it wasn't so much. No, it's not. Not when the close-up of them dance is amazing, but you've got the music, so we wouldn't be able to show it. But a couple of things. First of all, this, make no bones about it, this guy is unbelievably brave, because this will fuck up his whole career. Nobody's going to let him dance again on their no.
Well, you never know though. Kendrick might. I mean, Kendrick's a very plugged-in guy.
Maybe he allowed it. I would love to think that if he has, he's got my soul for the rest of his life, if he would like it. Because so this is incredible in loads of ways. But what makes me so sad is that for a person to hold up the flags of two nations where a genocide is being committed.
That's right.
And the world does not want to know anything about it. Please check out Sudan. It's a horror story 1,000,000 times over. And because it's a world that doesn't want to know, just doesn't want to know, this man has risked everything to do that. And he should be seen as a hero. Even if you don't agree with the politics of it, you've got to admit that is a brave man who risks his safety, because to upset Maga and the way that the American government can set Maga out against anyone that does anything they don't like, literally they can, not wolf whistle, what's it called, dog whistle. So his safety, his family's safety, his job, he's a hero.
Well, on that note, the vengeful approach of MAGA, it was best manifested in a truth that was posted by Donald Trump after the event. The only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift.
This is disgusting.
She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving. Yeah. And just to kind of chime in on that,
the threat.
Hearing and booed, and then Trump theoretically, and
so after the big game, you know, I'm not, as you may have guessed, I have not a sporting bone in my body or an interest of sport. But the philosophy is sport is you know, that gentlemanly, you know.
Well, I think in America it's very family.
Very family, and for the president to come out and use that to bully a young woman and to threaten with MAGA is unforgiving. Every day we get to a new place of like horror. It's because it's not just a nasty little thing. That is a threat to everyone. MAGA is very unforgiving. I will set the dogs on you.
I was just saying to Nads last night, it's quite staggering when you think that he came into power on the 20th. He's 3 weeks president today, only 3 weeks.
I can't wait for the law to start to start biting back, because he's not going to be able to do most of what he wants.
Is anyone slightly concerned if this is what he's done in 3 weeks? Where the hell are we going to be? And it very much feels like he's unpicking all of the foundations of American society through the civil service, the Treasury. Did you see Democratic senators were disallowed entering the education ministry? I mean, you know,
he's a white supremacist.
And when I say soft, obviously it's not that soft, because we all know that basically Musk has been given the keys to the entire kind of system with a bunch of 19 to 24-year-old kind of AI, IT geniuses. And they're kind of fiddling around and faffing around in there. And the weirdest part of all of it is, I think this is the soft kind of, what's it called? A coup. This is like a coup d'etat. It's like they're taking, it's like a military coup. But it's a tech coup.
An unelected maniac who's in charge of breaking down the whole system without an overview.
I slightly worry that he's not going to have to make, and this is really important to say actually, I think lots of people were thinking in a sort of dystopian, futuresque type idea that he would declare war on someone, or he would more overtly create a civil war. No, but he's doing it it's like death by 1,000 cuts. And I think what Musk's activities are going to end up doing is putting such internal pressure on the American system that when it buckles, he's going to be able to do this, point at everyone else as he meets resistance and say, they're attacking America. Yeah. That's what he's going to do.
Maga is very unforgiving.
In fact, hang on a minute. That sounds incredibly similar. He may even use the word self-defense.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as if last night's Super Bowl didn't get more crazy, couldn't have got more crazy. Kanye West spent $8 million on this 30-second commercial.
I spent like all the money for the commercial on these new teeth. So once again, I had to shoot it on the iPhone. Go to easy.com.
See, so much of what he is doing, he is attributing now to performance art.
Well, no, isn't he saying he doesn't have bipolar? He's actually
there's a recent interview. He's been misdiagnosed and he is autistic. That's what he said in a recent interview. But I mean, we don't know the ins and outs of that, do we? But you can't just do anything.
8 million for 30 seconds.
You can't just say anything with performance. Is there anyone looking after this chap? 8 million, and he's been dropped by Adidas. He's been dropped. I can't remember what the other one is.
But you know, I mean, his income from writing all of his tunes. I mean, he will forever be one of the wealthiest kind of musicians.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just profound.
I look at that advert. I know there's been a lot of outrage, hasn't there, that he should be allowed to have it after his anti-Semitic rants. Yeah. Just horrible shit. And that he shouldn't have been allowed to put this commercial up. And I agree. I think it's shameful in so many different ways. He just this rant, and then this anti-Semitic rant.
Well, he also didn't have a t-shirt, didn't he? He should have a t-shirt with a swastika on,
but he says it's performance art. You see, you can't just do anything and say it's performance art. But also, I don't know what anyone else feels, and maybe I'm being too rescuey here, too much of a rescuer, but I just think he doesn't seem well. So who would take 8 million from a person that is struggling?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, look, you saw at the
when
end,
they have so much money. I think it just puts a spotlight on all of this.
He is a danger to himself, as people are saying, and he's a knob. Someone said he's a knobhead. But listen, you saw at the end there, go to Yeezy.com. He won't have sent this on his iPhone by WhatsApp to the NFL. Yeezy will have a team, whether we like it or not, that will have sent this in, and they will have said, this is, yes, it's a bit strange, but Kanye wants this to go. And the NFL are going to go, here's your 30-second slot. That's $8 million. Thank you very much. Within it, if he was promoting some kind of Nazi kind of anti-Semitic tropes.
But he just had.
Yeah, but he didn't in the advert.
Yeah, but he just had. And that's what people found offensive.
No, I'm not defending. I mean, I don't think you can say whether he could or shouldn't have had the.
No, but I would have thought that the NFL would have said off the back of this, calling himself a Nazi, selling swastikas, t-shirts, and then just that alone, I would have thought would have
controlling his wife,
all this stuff. Is there no censorship in America then for adverts? Because I agree, it's offensive what he said. Whether that's because he's a performance artist, whether that's because he's not well, whether that's just because he's a nasty bastard, I just think no.
Oh, this is interesting. Look at Billy Tellem. Maybe a black man wearing or selling a swastika shirt is taking the power away from white supremacists. Wondering if that is an explored angle. God, I'm so confused on so many levels.
Yeah, but I know the thing is, and I think that's interesting what you're saying. And I have got the performance artist thing. Absolutely, he could be kicking, but don't forget he used to support Trump. So it's too confusing. It's way too confusing. If you're doing anything like that, you have to explain it a bit more.
He's also
because
been
it's a very dangerous world at the moment, and very dangerous people will hook
and
on.
Also, yeah, you're right. He is a supporter of Trump, and he's also been lobbying Trump to to pardon Puff Daddy as well. You know, he wants him to be.
But is that also him just railing against the system in his own performance art way? If he is, explain it.
Would the whole thing, would all of his behaviour be more easy to get round if he was to come out and say this was, and give a sort of, what's going to sort of calm us down? If he sat down and gave a rational interview where he said, you know what, guys, all along, I've been just trotting out a load of old bullshit because actually it's been fun playing games with the media. I mean, he's clearly deeply sort of unwell, troubled, and yet he has so much money. Again, no one can get to him. I mean, in different ways, you can see the same sort of kind of echoes of things that happened to God, what's her name? What's the name of the? Bianca, my God, no, the dancer, the young dancer, woman, singer. What's her name? Britney Spears. Oh, sorry. No. But you know, when you've got enough money and you're getting away with doing things, or you're doing things, and no one can get close enough to you. Who remembers the oddness of Michael Jackson's life?
Exactly, Victoria Moore. Imagine being Kim and having to navigate this through.
Yeah, but I mean, do you remember the oddness of Michael Jackson's life and all of the kind of speculation about why was he getting whiter? Why were his features changing? What was it about Graceland or whatever it was that, you know, wherever he lived? We're looking at the rarefied downfall of a man who has so much money.
So much wealth that, in a way, you're even less protected because you're surrounded by people that say, oh, yes, that's really a good idea. Yes, you do that.
I think the only moment it will truly implode for him is when the platforms decide not to platform any of his historic music, because all of his money is made from the licensing of his tunes, and his last album, I understand, was one of the most downloaded. But
does anyone feel like almost like he wants to be poor again? It's like he's trying to crash. It's like self-sabotage. You know, like when people say, be careful what you wish for, because when you get there, it's kind of the wishing that got you there. Sometimes I think it's almost like he wants to lose everything so that he can build it back. I don't know. It's COD psychology, but...
Okay, well, talking about COD psychology, let's talk about the ick. I need to find this article. For some reason, this will crash.
There's very, very clear 3 parts to this article, and we're going to go through the 3 parts. So nobody get too aerated too soon, because we are going to cover all angles with this. So first of all, we're going to start with the ick, right? That's all we're going to say, the ick. And then we're going to work through all the different stages of this. So first of all,
we did touch on this yesterday.
On the Sunday show. But just mention your ick. What's your ick? So I'll start.
Just to explain, what is an ick?
So an ick is the shortened version of sick, and it's something very female that girls have said. I think it's only the last few years, actually.
I think Love Island's really
and sometimes it got really out of hand, like really extreme. But it started with funny little things, and now it's kind of like you don't hear young people together without them saying,
"Oh, I got the ick." It's when you put off someone, you
put off somebody, but very much female. And then there's been a little bit of kickback where boys have tried to say it. They try and say it on Love Island, and it's just like you can't do it. It's like
it doesn't stick.
Men don't say the ick because
you can't stick the ick,
because it's the ultimate ick for women. It's like if you say that somebody's giving you the ick, you'll get that's the ick. Well, this is how confusing it is.
Well, when a bloke hears the ick is said, when you've said it at times, you said, "Don't do that. You're giving me the ick." There is a distant sound of a death bell, death knell. You hear a tolling bell of doom. And it's like,
that's why I don't overuse it. So if I say to you something gives me the ick, you've really got to listen.
It's an absolute deal breaker, because as I understand the true meaning of the ick, once you've had the ick about someone, it's very hard to pull it back.
If you're in a new relationship and you get the ick, yes, especially if you're much younger. In a long marriage where I love you and I'm sure of that and I'm going to love you forever, the icks, when I tell you about an ick,
that made me feel quite nice. Just you saying that.
It's not the same. It's not like that. It's going to put me off forever. But it's like that could be a drip, drip, drip. That there's a tiny little damp patch, and then it becomes huge, and then we need to get a roofer in.
Craig.
That's the ick.
Craig.
Roofer. So
I do. Okay, and on this note, we talk a lot about this with the girls, and
I bought the girls an ick board game.
Yeah,
no, it was a board.
Yeah,
no,
I really threw the cat amongst the pigeons with the girls once when I said that the closest I ever came. We're giving you this as examples. The closest I ever came to getting the ick towards a woman.
Closest. You did get.
No, I got the ick,
and you've had loads of icks since.
Yeah, but apparently you can't apply it to women, so I must have got something else. Yeah. But anyway, what I felt I had what seemed like the ick.
Put you off.
Yeah, put me off was when, and it's terrible, was when a young woman, I was at sixth form, she was running or walking across the sixth form, confectionery, and she fell, she tripped, and it's terrible because she had no control over it. It wasn't her fault.
That's a classic ick.
And I got the ick, and I could never see her without seeing her fall. And it wasn't the fall; it's the way she tried to rescue herself. Was really embarrassing. And
it's very, very particular. So like with the girls, they were here and there were some friends of theirs as well. And we were saying, if somebody were to run for a bus, immediate ick, right? What if somebody pressed the green thing, waited till the green man?
Well, this is one of the main
because
ones.
Some people get the ick if they see a bloke waiting for the green man before they cross. And one of our girls said, "Oh no, that's all right because they're trying to save their life, so that's okay."
Yeah, but hang on, that was rapidly followed by. But if they were hit by a car, they'd get the ick.
Yeah, but I mean, yes.
Because not obviously they don't want them to be hit by a car, but I think in the aftermath of landing, it's the inability to effect change in looking really clumsy, stupid, and humiliated.
And in a way, I think men have been hoisted by their own petard because it's like. It's toxic masculinity. That's what it's about. Because women have been fed toxic masculinity.
Yes.
And a man is a certain way, then they're not supposed to be vulnerable in any way.
Thank you, Stacey Randall. 10 gifted memberships there. Really kind.
Stacey, you're too generous. Stop it.
And also, Sky Elise, we are going to be reacting to the Vlogmas compilation. Because of the situation we're at, it's just not felt it's been very hard, actually, ironically, bar the one time we did get together for the Curly Cooks to find the time, but we will be doing it.
We are excited about it. It's just like getting everyone that's up, and then when the house isn't full,
and when they're here, they're not rushing off.
Like if everybody's, so it's like, are they going out? There's loads of people here. We've got to do it on the test. It's just a nightmare.
Okay, so let's just read some of your icks. Men with beards. Wow, says Crescent Moon. Every man wants a beard
these days.
Craig is defo not ick. Okay.
Yes, we like a man that can do something with his hammer.
Raspberry Mojito Girl flip flops in winter on anyone gives her the ick.
Oh yes,
that's a good one.
Yes, men that wear shorts all the time.
Yes, and headphones.
It's like control your temperature. Where's your internal temperature?
But you know what the terrible thing about that detail is? I can understand why men do that. I do feel my icks have gotten way too extreme now, says Zoe.
Right. We have to remember that one because this will take us on to the third section of our
Clodagh says spitting gives me the ick.
Yes, me too. Absolutely.
Blokes in their 40s wearing no socks with shoes.
Oh, says Stuart. That's an ick for Stuart.
Tight trousers give me the ick. Oh, eating with mouth open.
Yeah. So a lot of this is manners.
Yeah.
A lot of this is manners.
Stuart G. Waits. Being patronising. Good ship lollipop.
Yes.
Ick.
Mansplaining.
Dear heart, men spitting out of car windows.
So a lot of this is about bloody decent behaviour.
People being on loudspeaker on public transport.
I
hate your
never in my life have I been on a loudspeaker on public transport. I hate it.
Right. Footballers doing that horrible thing, says Faith Goodman, with their nose. Oh, what, firing snot out of it? Yeah, that's horrible.
This is all. You're asking for politeness. You're asking for manners, right?
Elaine Denning, middle-aged men in white jeans.
You're brutally lame.
That's brutal.
You don't take no prisoners.
That is brutal. Yeah. Men spreading themselves on trains.
Exactly. And then, so these are all, I think, manners. Yeah. Things like another one that you spoke about yesterday, wasn't it? Was putting on
lip balm.
Lip balm in public.
I gave myself the ick once when I did that.
That is icky, but I don't like women really do. You know, sometimes you're talking to people and they're doing this, it's just a bit. And so that's a huge ick with girls. Weird socks. That's another thing.
Do you know what I really find disgusting? And I don't know if it gives me the ick, but then I can never really is when women leave behind a glass with red lipstick on it.
Yes.
Or when they're drinking out of a glass and there's red lipstick on it. I find it disgusting.
Okay.
I mean, really
But
disgusting.
we have explained to you that you don't
No, it's not the ick.
enter the arena of giving out icks.
No, I know.
So this article was about, and my God, when we gave the headline of this to the group of women that were here yesterday, young women.
Which one?
There was an absolute outrage.
This is something.
So go on.
So the rise of the ick is damaging men's mental health, experts claim.
And there is something serious in this, right? But the reaction from the young people yesterday was like, oh, for God's sake, we'll get on with it, which will take us into the final thing.
I'm just going to give you a little bit more meat on the bones for that. So Sophia Wyborn, the managing director of Lions Campus, a London-based private clinic offering day programs to 14 to 25-year-olds struggling with their mental health, says that the ick is really, really, really damaging. This kind of language causes lots of anxiety and makes them constantly feel as if everything they do is being judged. We often see that they look for external things to make themselves feel better about themselves, like using offensive language as a defense mechanism. They're trying to build self-esteem. Trying to build self-esteem is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And people with low self-esteem beat themselves up over a lot of things. And so hearing that they've got the ick with you could belittle them and make them feel anxious.
And I think the thing is here, can we just read a bit of what the counter argument is from the psychologist? Oh, it's not there. Who talks about why women are doing it? Okay, so then the counter argument to this is from a therapist, and says the bigger problem we need to consider is why girls feel the need to belittle in order to feel a sense of security, right? The ick culture is fueled by girls seeking a defense mechanism and protection from getting hurt by boys. Talking to your point, Zoe, you've had so many bad bloody dates and horrible men, haven't you? That you've just, these girls are feeling unsafe. And when we feel safe and secure, we don't feel the need to belittle other people. Most bullies are people with very low self-esteem, aren't they? Physical violence is not available to girls. So they use these words. They use words that hurt. It is important that people are aware of the effects of language on themselves and on other people. Young people think this casual language does not matter, but it does. So
do you agree?
I completely agree that okay, when you think of Andrew Potato and you think of what women and young girls have had to put up with, that increasing misogyny that is out there, covered up with woke language, but underneath that it's very unpleasant for a lot of young women. And so and women do talk more, and women can do that thing. They can flick out that line that will shut somebody up, and that is often because there's not the physical empowerment that men might have. But where it's all got messed up is that the toxic men, the really unpleasant and unkind and brutal men will not get affected by the ick culture. The men that will are the men that are the kinder, sweeter, more gentle boys, I think, that are caught also in the trap of toxic masculinity and want to be nice and want to be, but are very much fucked up by the idea it seems like all girls want the bastard. So it's just another horrible ingredient in the recipe of this messed up situation.
I'd go a little bit further than that, because when you say it, I kind of understand both sides of this. Because like when you say just then, I mean, I'm not a guy who in any way wants to sort of be toxically masculine or mansplain or anything like that. I do think there is a danger sometimes. For example, just using mansplaining as a kind of a sort of cousin, if you like, a close cousin to icking, is sometimes I think the word ick and the word mansplain can be used to silence anything from anyone about anything. And I think that's dangerous. But I think your point that actually, are we talking about all the men that are genuinely hurt or offended by this, are possibly or
his mental health is being affected?
Yeah, are possibly those men who are closest to being able to have a more agreeable relationship with you. But what I also think is pretty dangerous is that the potato heads of the world, all that lot, will use this kind of research to then push back and say we need to be even more misogynistic,
fuels misogyny,
to redress the balance,
to control these awful women that are fucking up these young men. Yeah, it's a mess.
I mean, at the end of the day, what is ick? Ick is banter, isn't it? It's another form of gender-specific banter.
I think, it's a way of getting back at the feeling of powerlessness that a lot of young women have around men.
Can I put it simply? Can I put it really simply? If I was back in the 70s listening to my mum's meetings, it'd be like, if men didn't rape and spike and sexually assault so much in general, they wouldn't have to deal with this.
Well, exactly. But the thing is, it's the men that aren't like that are most affected by this language and by the ick and about being really confused. Am I supposed to be a bastard for girls to like me? For example, yesterday I went to the gym, right? And I looked in the sauna and I looked in the steam, and every room I looked, every one that I looked, all you see, right, when you first look through the steam is this, right? The entitlement of the way that men sit in the legs wide open. I walked away. I didn't want to go in, but every single, and then I was just like, no, open that bloody door and go in that steam room. Sit. They're oblivious, totally oblivious to how that feels. Well, probably some of them might have been not so nice. Some of them would have been perfectly nice, but they just have the privilege of being a man and not understanding that we feel threatened in lots of different ways that they would never imagine. So that, because we're not violent, because we're not bigger physically, women do use words more than anything else, do they not?
Yeah, I mean, Erin makes a good point. If it was a nice, polite, kind guy, would a woman get the ick, though? Surely those types of guys are unlikely to have icky vibes. I mean,
no, they do.
Yeah.
No, that's just the point. They do. They get, oh, God, he was a bit ick. Oh, God, he looked like he was going to cry. Oh, my God, it was a bit ick.
Can I just say, I do think that where wires have got crossed is that in those areas where allegedly one would say that women want men to be a bit softer or less masculine or less kind of show-offy, where I get really frustrated, and you see it on shows like Love Island, is when people say, oh God, yeah, but he's a bit of a sop or he's a bit icky, when he's actually being quite vulnerable or quite nice. And then it gets really complicated, speaking to Faith Goodman's point, which is not all men are bastards. My mum used to say at the feminist meetings when in the 70s, she used to have extremely radical feminist meetings, and some of the feminists who came to those meetings were so radical they refused to come in because she had a male child. And her, to be fair to her line back was, well, okay, my male child could be perceived part of the problem just because he's a boy, but your daughter, when she's older, if she's heterosexual, will be hopefully wanting someone who has some understanding of this stuff. Now, I thought that was a really reasonable, and I think that chimes in with what Faith Goodman's saying, which is it's hard for those men who mean well, who when they don't cross the road because there's not a green man, or they do trip and whilst they're drinking a glass of milk,
that's the other thing, massive ick, milk. So that is confusing, isn't it? And Erin, just back to your point. Oh God, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Nice men shouldn't give you the ick, she was saying.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think, again, because women are so twisted and messed up in the toxic masculinity as well. What's going on? Pinballs in our heads. It's like we are as much of a victim as men are of it. So it's like, oh God, oh God, what you tripped over. Oh, that makes you vulnerable. So what is a nice guy hearing? He's saying vulnerable is not good. So I have to mask my feelings. I mustn't talk. You see, it's a right old mess, isn't it? But we've got to go, otherwise we'll be in a mess with our day because we've got one appointment.
Yeah, no. So do you wanna play this clip?
Yes,
funny clip?
And then we'll go because I promised this clip, and it's so funny.
Okay.
You're watching a man tune up
on podcast.
Fucking hell! Fuck!
Now this is the long clip.
Is this an ick?
Check the dog. Why does he stay there?
Because he's trying to work out.
What are you doing?
With the wife.
I keep trying to fucking shut the door. Grab me guitar, please. Alright, I've got it.
Got it.
Something broke. That's not broke. Like it. Where did you back get? I can't see anything. Either in or out! Come on!
You're either in or out! Fucking hell! You're either in or out. And I just wanted to show this.
It's so funny because I just realised, oh God, that would be an ick. We didn't plan that.
Totally ick. And then this gave me the ick about Mick Jagger.
Oh God.
Calling out around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat? Summer's here and the time is right for dancing in the street.
Dance Chicago.
On in New Orleans, in New York City. Sweet music, there'll be music everywhere. There'll be singing, swaying,
Records playing, dancing in the street.
Oh, Philadelphia, PA.
Baltimore in DC now.
Don't forget the border city.
On the streets of Brazil.
How clever.
Back in the USSR. No matter where you are, all you need is music, sweet music. There'll be music everywhere. They'll be singing and swaying and records playing, dancing in the street.
Oh my God, that is so clever. We need people to do more of those videos.
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
There you go, guys.
Listen, guys, hit the subscribe button and we'll see you later. If I have stuff going on.
Absolutely. You're going to wave away. Take
Bye.
care.